Hi, my name is Lauren Rockford. So, looking at the data breach timeline, we see that the Equifax's Apache Struts application released an update on March the 7th. Just 3 days later, the hackers breached the Equifax applications through the new update Struts 2. It's misunderstood why Equifax, a company whose main priority to protect their users' information, went 5 months with zero knowledge of this found breach. The hackers' exploitation continued until July 29th, whenever the breach was finally found. To worsen this public relations category, the Equifax company did not release this to the public until September 7th. Equifax then worsened their company name with their first steps toward PR recovery, including having users put in their last name and their last 6 digits of their social security in a new URL that left customers wondering if it was trustworthy or not. And then they prompted people after that to enroll in their Trusted ID Premier service. And then they had popped up that their executives in their company earned millions of dollars off of their stocks before they released that the hack had taken place within the company.
Hi, my name is Hiep Bui, and I'm going to be talking to you about the damage that this data breach has caused on U.S. consumers and what these consumers are potentially doing or not doing about it to help protect themselves. As you've already heard, this data breach has affected over 143 million Americans, while there are about 125 million households in America. That roughly comes out to an average of about one person, or essentially every household in America that was affected by this data hack. Along with this, over 200,000 credit cards were also compromised. This breach went on undetected for about 3 months until it finally reached upper management of Equifax, whom eventually sold off a collective amount of $1.8 million in Equifax company stock. Consumers have recently opened up a class action lawsuit against Equifax for its potential lack of security. On the flip side, some consumers aren't doing much at all about protecting themselves against this data breach. A recent poll indicated that Americans have been slow to check their credit reports and scores in light of this data breach. They risk sharing their information with potential hackers whom can create many problems for them in the long run. Problems such as medical ID theft, where the hacker can run up your medical bills for procedures, or tax fraud, where they can use your social security number to create a tax refund for themselves in your name. Clearing up your identity after it's been compromised can be a very time-consuming task, as you are essentially guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. This breach has caused a tremendous amount of havoc on U.S. consumers, but surprisingly, not many of these consumers are doing much about it to help protect themselves.
Attackers took advantage of a security flaw in the Apache Struts web framework and were able to remotely execute code on Equifax system. A thorough penetration test or code review could have identified the risk before it became a serious problem. Equifax was actually already aware of the web application vulnerability 2 months prior to the attack and had a patch available but never implemented it. If they had done so, they could have saved 143 million people from having their personal data exposed. Another possible alternative could be increasing the amount of automated web application monitoring by artificial intelligence-infused tools. This would have allowed Equifax to be notified the moment suspicious behavior started occurring. Although there have been data breaches affecting a high number of individuals, the Equifax data breach was one of the largest breaches based on the richness of data that was stolen. This includes social security numbers, addresses, dates of birth, and much more. Equifax is estimated to pay $1 billion to the individuals that were affected by this data breach due to Equifax's poor security practices. This is not the only cost to the company. Stock prices have fallen more than 25% after the breach was announced.
Some takeaways regarding this incident would be to practice basic cyber hygiene, auditing websites, keeping up to date with all security to lower risk of getting hacked, avoiding impact on assets in a disrupted event, know the type of personal information the company maintains and how and where it's stored, who has access to it, and whether they truly need all that information. Finally, every company should plan accordingly for any type of impact. Act quickly to show individuals that you are trying to protect them. Take actions to show that you are trying to solve the issue. Consider all sensitive information the company keeps and how to safeguard it. Finally, companies can consider cybersecurity insurance and other professional service to maintain all data safe.